And we got audit. All right. Well, seeing it's 6 o'clock, we'll go ahead and call this to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we will take roll call. Brent.
Here.
Guy.
Here.
Nate.
Here.
Ken.
Here.
And Jeff is here. All right, I did not see any public comment, and so we will start with a student council update.
We don't really have anything new for this month until we do our Earth Day cleanup, and then we're hosting a hygiene drive, which is right before spring break? No, after spring break. After, yes.
And the hygiene is when you bring in the hotel stuff, or?
Yeah, so we have each specific grade bringing in something different, and whichever grade ends up bringing in the most, like last year, I think it was first grade? Yep. First grade that brought in the most, they'll get a prize.
Okay.
And it's just a nice way to give back to our community, so it's gonna go to the pantry.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about all I have. And my advisors are amazing. Thank you. Oh, also I brought empanadas for everybody. They're by Kelsey.
Wow.
Yeah, this is unbelievable.
I love it.
So yeah, that's about it.
What did you girls bring?
Our beautiful faces.
Our smiles.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes.
Adorable.
Next month.
All right, and it sounds like we have something cool to celebrate. I know we do.
No, nothing big.
Jim, would you like to? Sure. Tell us why they're here.
Because they're awesome. These young ladies participated in basketball and kind of did okay this season. One of the things that we're very proud of with these kids, but also we want to thank for these guys. I'll do the thank yous and then they can tell you about our weekend. But the community, the staff, the board, everybody in that has been part of our team and supported us the entire year. We can't thank you enough. So with that, ladies, why don't you come out here, and coaches, you want to come out? Why don't you guys ask a few questions and they'll go ahead and give you the answers because they're really good at talking.
What was somebody's favorite experience, or favorite part about the experience?
I'll go first. So probably when, obviously we lost, but we were cheering for the other team when we lost. And we made friends with this girl named Patty that we need somehow for Mr. Burr to give us like a paper where we tell everyone that she's like really good. So, yeah. She was a very nice old lady, but she wasn't old, but like.
Patty was the chauffeur.
Or address?
She was our
No, we tried to find
person.
it. Really?
Like our advisor, basically.
Email and the address.
Yeah.
It was also really cool since we played like the first game in the morning. We got to see the rest center like with no one there.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
It was also like cool, we have this mindset that you get there early and prepare, and so we've done that all of the season for our tournament games, and so we got there like probably 30 to 40 minutes before the other team. We were all ready to go, and they walked in like half asleep, and we're all there pumped up, juiced up, ready to go, and they're just like, what, it's like 8 in the morning, what are you doing? And we're like, we got a game to play, we're ready.
I think like one of the best parts about going to state was just like the way that we were all involved. Like if you were on the floor, you were having fun. If you were on the bench, you were having fun. If you were in the stands in the student section, everyone was cheering so loud. It was fun. It was very like just a good environment to be in.
And everyone was like talking about our team and how we were so supportive towards everyone else. Like everyone was coming up to us. Other people were getting told, so like that was just cool to hear too. Like our sportsmanship like meant a lot to other people.
And we were together.
Yeah.
How about the I don't know, what do they call them? The student halls, or what are the pep rallies?
Oh,
Was that cool, just seeing the whole school come together?
yeah, seeing all like the little kids getting excited and making posters and like everyone wanting a high five from us as we were leaving was pretty cool.
And we really, like the send-off, we really appreciated it. We put all the smiles on our faces.
Did you have fun in Green Bay besides?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
What'd you do?
We watched a lot of basketball.
Yes. But then, like, but when we winded down at the hotel, we were playing board games with each other. We swam in the pool. We even took our little mascot down the slide in the pool.
Mr. Doolittle went down the slide.
Yeah.
You girls can continue the tradition here of the fourth team going to state. That's very cool.
And when they go back next year, we'll all be there, so. We'll all have fat heads of them, so.
I was at a meeting, a construction meeting on Tuesday. It was virtual, and one of the guys asked me, "Do you have a daughter?" Virtually asked me, "Do you have a daughter, Feets?" And I said, "Yeah, I got a daughter." Well, I was watching WKOW, and it was a story about Mr. Doolittle and his stroke, and it went to something. It went to something about Natalie Feets, and I guess not a lot of people have the last name Feets. And then everybody was like, "Well, tell us." Well, they went to state. So I mean, it was interesting. It caught me off guard that somebody, it caught me off guard that somebody asked about the last name and and then the stroke that Mr. Doolittle had. So that was it's like, oh man. I mean, I'm an adult. I know what happened, but there's adults that that don't know us from anything, and heard the last name and then watched the story and thought that was pretty cool.
It's quite a comeback story for Mr. Doolittle and the girls who didn't have the greatest start to the season but finished so well.
Yeah. Anna Marie had, sounds like I'm some kind of stalker, but Anna Marie. Anna Marie has, we just talked about that. Like being on the, we all have kids and we're proud of our kids, and sports is visible, right? It's a visible thing. So parents get mad or kids get mad because they're not playing, because everybody sees the starting lineup, or everybody knows who scores the points, or people know who makes the block shot, or they know all that. It's very, very visible. Education isn't always the most visible thing, and it's not the most glamorous thing. And I think the one thing about being on the board, on a school board, is that you pay attention a lot more to everyone that's in the district, more so than just your daughter. 8 years ago, I was focused on who the star player was, or this or that, or Natalie or Olivia. Be like this, right? Because you can see it. Education isn't always like that. But back to Anna Marie, I think hashtag lead the bench to state is a pretty cool thing. It's a really cool thing, right? And you're a heck of a student. And you always had a great attitude. You always had a smile on your face. And I think that it's important for you girls to know, and for all boys and girls to come, that being on the bench or being a player in the game or not in the game, it's still visible and how you carry yourself. So when I seen your highlight thing on Instagram, lead the bench to state. I think that's a pretty good thing. And if you take the tenacity that you've competed with to be on the bench and to improve every year from your 5th grade year till now, college is going to be very easy. And people are going to know because they see what kind of careers people end up with. And it becomes much more visible. Basketball is a competition, and frankly, so is life. And so it's not about where you start, it's about where you finish. And you girls said that in basketball. So I thought it was really cool that you had the pride to say, hashtag lead the bench to state. I think that's pretty cool stuff. If you were to ask Natalie, her sophomore year playing volleyball, it wasn't easy sitting on the bench watching everybody else play. But there's a spot for everyone. So kudos to you.
It's definitely not always easy, but I definitely think the mentality is what you need to have, because don't let one thing that you don't go in your way ruin the whole season, your last opportunity.
Yeah, 100% kid. So I think that's what high school sports is all about. And again, sports is hard because it's visible, right? I always said if I was going to be a coach again, I'd want to coach track or wrestling, because the stopwatch stops. Okay, you're the fastest, or you're on your back, so you're not gonna wrestle at that weight, or you win or lose, right? Because there's a stopwatch. Basketball and football and all those, there's measurables, and it's hard, so, you all did awesome. But I see you on Instagram, and I'm not a stalker, but you friends with
He's a stalker.
So, kudos to you, Ken.
Your
Thank
four
you.
young ladies will be highly successful in life.
Yes.
Yes, they will.
We also hope to bring home the sportsmanship award from the tournament, so if someone over there can help us out, that'd be great.
I heard the girls say you were cheering on the other team, so we were cheering for the
Yeah.
Wisconsin Dells team because they.
Oh, we were, yeah.
Because they had a couple of Fall River alums' daughter playing on
Yeah.
that team.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Zaria.
Karen Miller and
Yeah.
Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
Kwanzaa
Oh, no
South.
kidding.
It was her birthday on Thursday when she played too.
Yeah,
Yeah, when she
yeah, I
played.
saw her play on TV.
Zaria left here about 5th grade, 6th grade, something like that.
Yeah,
She's number 12 for the Dells.
yeah. Is she junior or freshman?
Sophomore.
Sophomore?
Yeah.
And you guys have you'll have an end of the year banquet coming up soon?
We're gonna talk about that
Okay.
soon.
Congratulations, girls.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Yeah.
coming forward.
Thank
Thank you guys
Yeah,
for
very good.
everything.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
Yes. All right.
Let's go.
No, you have to stay for the whole thing.
Oh. I mean,
Mr. D didn't tell you that? They can leave, but you have
I
to
didn't see
stay.
that in the text.
Thank
Quitters-
you.
Quitters, we'll
Thank
see
you
you
for
later.
coming.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. D.
Congratulations, guys.
We have lots to celebrate this month.
Okay, that's perfect.
We asked our counselors to come. They're gonna share with you about some of the things that they've been working on this year.
No, not,
See, you guys should have started and
I
let
think
them.
this will be more exciting.
wow.
It's gonna be quite a slideshow.
We'll try to keep it brief.
That's just rude.
I'll try it one more. Perhaps it's number 3. Or perhaps it's just HDMI. No?
Nobody else, no?
Very brief.
I'd hate to come over there and show you how to do it, but I'm probably gonna do a very good job showing you how to do it.
I feel like I'm in friggin' high school again.
It's actually not an HDMI cable, I just realized. It's plugged in right here. That cable is.
Fancy from memory. Probably at home.
Well,
Mr. Keller, just curious, HDMI cords around.
I keep those in my face.
it might be.
Yeah, it's not
I'll send Jake an email tonight telling him how disappointed I am that this wasn't ready for us.
He'll be here in half an hour if you do that.
Carefully.
Yeah, no, I think he lives in Sun Prairie.
He's in Columbus now,
Columbus, that's okay, yeah.
so probably 15 minutes.
He's probably listening to the stream.
Yeah, he's on his way.
He's jittery right now. Shouldn't I or shouldn't I?
He's jittery right now. You can just sense this.
You got it working, Jake.
He can hear us.
We got it. Thanks for your patience. I'm Miss Krista, the kids call me, or Miss Ikeda, some of them, and Mr. Crombie, you know us. We just wanted to tell you a little bit about what we are doing with the school counseling program. I really like what you were saying about athletics being very visible, and school counseling is not. So we like to keep our stakeholders updated. This is our school counseling mission statement. So we serve all students to help them gain an understanding of themselves, the world around them, and help making meaningful connections between those two.
We really work to engage the student's entire support system. So it's not just us doing work as a silo, but we work with staff and teachers, administration, and of course parents and community are all a really big part of developing the student into a successful and productive citizen. So our vision is the same as the Fall River School District vision, that all students will achieve their greatest potential. So I'll start with a brief overview about elementary. I did a use of time calendar 1 week in the fall, and so this is just kind of where my time falls. These are broader categories, and this is broken down a little bit more. So most of my time is counseling with individual or small groups, and then defining, managing, or assessing. Instruction would be classroom, and then collaborating with staff, working together to make sure that we're all meeting the needs of students. Just a few statistics about individuals that I see. Here's my sources of referrals. So most referrals come from the student's teacher, which makes sense. They're in the building, they see the student the most, but I also get a lot of referrals from parents. Some students will refer themselves if they are just saying like, hey, this happened, can you help me out with it? Often it's like conflict with a friend, or feeling like they're being picked on, feeling like they are having a hard time making friends, going through something that's difficult. Sometimes I'll see students and then I'll talk to their teacher, I'll talk to their parent, and I just see that extra need. Or sometimes it comes from staff, another student, or even our principal. And this is kind of the different categories that I work with for individual students. Vast majority are coping skills, so if there's something that they're going through that they just need help coping with, or social skills, whether that's building friendships, building connections, or like figuring out how to treat people well, how to treat people kindly, even handling someone who is not treating them well. I could consider that a social skill, like of how are you, it could be coping, but how are you going to deal with it, how are you going to manage it, and then some other categories: emotional regulation, academic, executive functioning, and immediate support if something just happens that they need help getting through.
Could you go back to the other one? Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So like, so when you say like student, is that like a student coming to you about another student?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. And then like parents, so out of like the 28%, are there parents that come to you and say, hey, my daughter has this friend that, does that happen, or is that not?
So I very rarely will a parent refer a student that's not their son or daughter, but they'll tell me like if they have something going on at home, or if they have noticed a concern for their kid either at home or at school. Sometimes it's a call, sometimes it's an email.
What is the average? Is there a national average that students that, not necessarily, you know, because, you know, like you say, report bullying, right?
Right.
Or be, you know, be visual to what's happening around you, what, you know, however that is said. What is the average of students coming to you and saying, hey, my friend has a problem or needs somebody to talk to? Is 2.4% low? Is that average? Is there a higher?
Well, I honestly have no idea what the average would be. My sense is this is probably because we're a pretty small district that the adults can become aware of something
sooner.
Exactly. So if it's an issue that we're seeing it as teachers, or the parents are communicating it to us, and so I don't think it's low, but
no. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want, because 32% of 32% of the things come from teachers. That seems, I don't know, it seems kind of. Seems low if you ask me, but again, I'm not, interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for your question.
Yeah.
Small groups that I run, I just have a list of the small groups that I've done this year. The number in parentheses is the number of students that were part of that. So a lot of kindergarten, like focus, self-control, emotional regulation. The friendship groups, those were just students who, it's hard for me to like help a student make friends by talking to them individually, so I'll start a small group. And I'll invite some students that they might click well, or other students that can demonstrate really good, positive pro-social skills, and we just eat lunch together for maybe 8 weeks, once a week, and build some connections in that way. Kindness, academic, or social skills, those are my small groups. And then classroom guidance, this is a big one for me in elementary, is I get to go into every classroom once a week. We have the board-approved curriculum of Sources of Strength that was approved last year. I wanted to make a quick note about that is a pretty standard practice for districts to approve curriculum. That way the stakeholders do have some say in what we're teaching our kids. I know it did cause a little bit of confusion, like, well, why did the board have to approve this? But it is so that everyone can have, it's for transparency, and so that the community and all stakeholders can kind of have a say in what we're teaching the kids. So I just brought some really quick numbers from the beginning of the year. 5th graders, we had 91% of them be able to explain why it's important to consider someone else's perspective before reacting to a situation. The other 9%, I followed up with them. So I try to get that number to 100%, and we just kind of, I'll guide them a little extra. For 4th grade, 89% were able to identify why it's important to step outside your comfort zone from time to time. So this is when we're talking about growth mindset. And I like to tell the students, our comfort zone is not our growth zone, and we got to step out of it to grow and to get comfortable doing other things that we weren't comfortable with before. And then 93% of 3rd graders were able to write at least one personal or academic goal. There's a lot more that I covered, but I just wanted to highlight some numbers for you. And now I'll pass it over to John.
I was joking earlier with Krista that she has all her fancy charts and graphs and stuff, but I swear I do things around here. Told her I'm not very good at tracking everything.
His office is way more organized than mine.
But as they get to that middle school, high school level, it is a lot different, or I should say a lot different, but it is different. So I kind of just put up kind of some of the core stuff that I talk to students about kind of on a daily basis. Academic concerns, social emotional needs, so academics right now is a big thing. You know, we get that MASH list with the administration that we go over every week to look at who's failing classes, who's missing classes, and between the three of us, we kind of follow up with all those kids and do they have a plan to get those grades up, things like that. Crisis response, obviously just those immediate needs that pop up in the middle of the day that you don't really expect. And then coordinate that with families, staff, outside resources. Just advocating for students. I mean, if I had to think of one thing that is kind of like my job is to advocate on behalf of students. So there are times where I have to help them navigate challenges with their peers, their teachers, but there's also sometimes where I have to go to bat for them, to their teachers, to administration if I need to. Again, the academic monitoring, and then post-secondary and future planning. So a lot of right now, this time of year is course planning, right? We're looking at your plan for next year. What do you want to do after high school? Trying to figure out not just a next year plan, but a 4-year plan. What classes you're going to take next year, what classes you're going to take the following year, and then going through that. I think one of the best things about the small school is I can meet with a lot of those kids just like that, right? If I was in a bigger school, it'd be a lot more challenging to figure that out. But I can meet with a lot of these kids individually. It takes 10, 15 minutes for some, it might take a little longer for others. And then just down at the bottom, like a lot of this is confidential, responsive, kind of in the moment. Everyone says as a counselor, like you come in with a to-do list and you throw it out the window at 9 o'clock, because other things just pop up. So it just kind of happens as they arise. One thing that I try to be as visible as much as possible. It's one of my goals this year too, just being more visible at lunch and breakfast, trying to get in classrooms, see what kids are doing. See them in a different light, right? Not just in my office or somewhere else, having those conversations. I mean, I would say I have a lot of just 2-minute conversations with kids every day, probably 30, 35 kids, just at that lunch and breakfast too. Meet with students daily, weekly for academic struggles, conflict resolution, emotional regulation. There are some that I meet with recurring, some are just kind of like if they need help for a couple weeks, jump in and help. Otherwise, I kind of see kids for 6, 7 weeks at a time, and then we figure out kind of next steps after that, hook them up with the right resources. Support students in high-stress situations, crisis situations. And my role at middle school, high school more is just being more focused on being available in the moments that they need it the most. Which, again, is going to be different from a 6th grader, from a 12th grader, or what they're going through that time in their life. Friend issues, college, things like that, so it kind of can change on a moment's notice. And then a few of the ways that we collaborate together, I think that's another aspect of the small schools, like we work together. There are kids, in elementary that I might meet with, there are kids in middle school, high school that she might meet with, depending on what's going on. Our mentoring program right now is kind of like the big thing. We have about, 20?
Yeah, something like
high school mentors that mentor with a elementary kid. And they do it for about a half hour every week. And the elementary kids just love it. Like, that's like their time to get with those big kids. And our high school kids do a great job with those young kids. Krista does a really nice job of kind of telling them what that kid might need. If that kid needs help with some emotional regulation, maybe they're dealing with some friend issues, things like that. But our kids just kind of take it and run with it. We do meet with our high schoolers probably about once a month and just kind of check in with them, see how it's going. I try to check in regularly with our freshmen and sophomore ones that have just kind of started that may need help. But we give them ideas for what to do with their mentees, right? A lot of times they're kind of like, well, we do the same thing every time. But we try to tell them that your kid just loves that time with them. So that's one of the big things that we do, I would say, K-12. Our transition lesson to middle school, we're at our 5th and 6th graders. We get them in the MPR and we go over what is 6th grade like. We try to bring in 6th graders to kind of answer questions for those 5th graders. Sometimes they just like hear it from their peers, what it's like, what is having a locker like, what is changing classes like, things like that. Just obviously teacher support, we all pretty much collaborate, together. And just like that even happens in the administration office. Like if Krista's in a classroom, Ryan's not there, I can jump in and help with an elementary kid and vice versa. Lunch bunches, daily check-in, check-out with students. We look at needs assessments, see what our students are needing in their lives. Immediate support, the conflict resolution, kind of a big thing, especially in middle school, trying to navigate all those friendships and things like that. Professional development for staff, bullying prevention. And then Krista does the random acts of kindness student leaders as well, which is kind of just doing good things around our school for our elementary. That's it. Anybody have any questions?
All right, what was PBIS?
PBIS is the Positive Behaviors Intervention Support.
supports.
And so we're actually in the process of trying to make that more K through 12. Right now it's just elementary, but it's rewarding positive behavior and encouraging students to be responsible, be respectful, and be safe. We do a monthly pirate rally. Actually, in middle and high school they do too. But on the elementary level, there's a certificate winner each month. And a drawing winner that they get pirate awards if they are caught doing something good, or the teacher selects one student who's shown the character trait of the month to win the certificate. And all of those kiddos get invited to a monthly incentive. So that's PBIS. It's kind of the fun side of behavior support.
I'm laughing because my 1st grader has one on the fridge, cooperation. And
Nice.
he brought it home and I was like, what does that mean? He goes, I don't know. I had to explain to him what it
Use a
meant.
little more instruction.
It's like,
You know, that is
he
so-
knows, he didn't want to tell me. I was like, okay, we gotta figure this out.
It is, yeah, I think it's meaningful to the kids when they have.
He came home and he was excited, look what I got, and stuff like that, so it's good.
What do you mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
I got it. You're not yelling at me, so it's good.
Any other questions?
Oh, man. You guys have scheduled some, community outreach, coffee with the counselor, things like that. Has that been attended?
No. I switched to just virtual now, and so I do a recording, but that has been more attended, like people will watch it in their own time, and I actually, for next month, I have a guest parent who joined me, and I asked her some questions about the things that she sees and does at home, so I was really excited about that one. So check it out in this month's newsletter. It's positive discipline. So a good one for lots of preventative things for teaching your child good behavior. Yeah, good question.
Doesn't any of that go on, it doesn't go on social media though, does it?
We knew a guy.
I've had him post the advertisements when it was before it was virtual, but I will have him post it so that it's linked. Great idea. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you both.
Thank you, guys. Good job.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so in our packet, in the consent agenda, we had the minutes from the March 4th and the February 18th meetings. We also had the payroll and vouchers as listed on our agenda. So any questions about those? Otherwise, I will take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion by Nate. Do I have a second?
Jeff?
And a second by Ken. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. All right, we will hear a treasurer's report.
So you've got the normal two papers, one broken down by function, one that's always broken down by object code. But to get more detailed than that and kind of give you a plan of where we're going with some stuff, the last week, Jennifer, Colleen, Andrea, and I have been doing the deep dive into every single account, not just a summary like this, but look at every single account, where we expect to be by the end of the year. And I'd say we're 2/3 done with that. We'll probably finish Monday or Tuesday next week. And then what's gonna happen next, is we're gonna take that data and put it into our Baird model so we can start predicting next year's budget. And we're gonna start scheduling for after spring break with all departments and individual teachers and so that we can figure out what their needs are and put that into the potential model for next year so we can come up with what we believe might be the budget for much of our budget for next year. And the other thing we'll need to do is figure out salaries. So I think we'll be going through early April with all the staff. And I would like at the April board meeting, I don't see a need for buildings and grounds because we've got all the plans, it's now just implement them. I'd like to have a finance committee meeting before the April board meeting so you can give us some guidance when we start looking at salaries, what your thoughts are. So we have some parameters that we can bring something to you that you would actually want us to be giving. So, and then we could maybe then have the salaries approved for everybody in May. So then Andrea, Kelsey can start getting out contracts before people leave, so they'll have what the contract is for the next year, so we can determine the final parts of the budget, which then means we could adopt the full budget with salaries and everything at the June board meeting. My last one, you'll have a budget adopted, and they'll have the roadmap. Okay, they had all a say in it, and now let's go forward, and they'll know what to implement. But we're also modeling how they're going to monitor the budget and how to develop the budget. So all three of them get a really good look, I'm hoping, to see how this works so that they can carry forward. And they can do it differently than I did, but at least they will understand more detailed what all the different accounts are for and how we came up with them. And they'll understand the Baird model a whole lot better too as we put that into practice. So that's where we're going with the budget. And that's your total summary, which looks like not that much different than other years, but I wanted to let you know what we're thinking, and how we're gonna get to the end of the year and how we're gonna accomplish all those things.
Awesome. And thank you for all the collaboration. I know that's a lot of training, so I appreciate it.
That's how they're learning.
Yeah. Any questions for treasurer's report? All right, then I will take a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Motion by Nate, do I have a second?
I'll second it, Jeff.
Seconded by Guy. All those in favor, vote aye. Aye. All those opposed. All right, gifts and donations.
We had gifts and donations made by PPO, Vic and Associates, and the Florida Repair Foundation for the new sound system that will be going into the ER.
That's the pep band mixer, new pep band mixer.
Okay, new mixer. And then we also had the Paul and Carrie Ulster House donated the sectional tickets for the pep band to the team.
Awesome.
Thank you, Paul and Kate.
Yeah, I got one question, and it's not a bad thing, or should not be taken badly. Whose decision, the pep band got up awfully early on Friday morning to drive all the way up to state. Is that just something that you guys decide whether you're gonna drive or not drive, or spend the night, not spend the night, or, I mean, I know that there's a budget for everything, I get that.
Costs a lot less money to drive up there.
I 100%. I understand that. It's just it's gosh darn early in the morning, and it's almost a reward for the pep band as well as it is the athletes. I mean,
Yeah, I heard they were talking about us on TV again.
they were, and actually all the articles I read were about the pep band. They weren't actually about the players. So we're undefeated when it comes to pep bands. We got like gold balls all over the place. But I was just wondering. Again, it's not meant to be. I haven't heard anything negative. It's just early in the morning, and so.
You need a lot more chaperones.
No, there would be chaperones. I get all. I understand that, but.
I think other things to consider is that the girls' rooms are subsidized by the WIAA. And
Okay.
there's room blocks set aside for athletes, and we wouldn't have room blocks set aside for a pep band. So
Okay,
finding
okay.
that many rooms together would be
Together.
difficult.
Okay. All right. There you go. I'm all in. Okay.
Hey, that doesn't mean we can't try next year.
I was gonna say, I
Well,
challenge,
because we're going back next year.
I challenge both the boys
And
and
the
the girls to make that a thing next year.
It's a nice problem to have.
Yeah, it'd be a great problem to have.
There's a lot of generous people donating, and we're gonna see where the finance came out. Normally, you lose money when you go to state, but the WIA increased reimbursements last year, so teams, as you go, the reimbursement per mile and per room went up. So that should have helped a little bit defray some of the costs, plus the donations we got, we're gonna have to see. I think we came up pretty reasonable for what they experienced.
Well, it's not like the WIA doesn't have money in their savings account.
No kidding.
Well, I mean,
We've tried to push, and one of the things we pushed last year is higher reimbursements for things back to schools who need the money. And I think what we passed gave an extra $1 million this year to schools.
really?
Yes. State tournament, hosting tournaments, you get more when you host a tournament and hold meetings. I think it was $890,000 should be increased in revenue back to school districts this year.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go. That's something.
Yeah. You don't need, I know this is public, but they have the money, they could do it.
Yeah, right. I mean, it almost looks like they have the money if they really wanted to make a shot clock a thing. They could pay for it.
They could
pay
give
for it
every school a
themselves.
shot clock.
Yeah, they could pay for it themselves. I mean, frankly.
It's a couple state tournament games, I was going, shot clock.
Yeah.
And Dan's going, now you want it.
There's a lot of money in that coffer.
Yeah.
WIA coffer. I mean, they're not the NCAA, but
No.
they certainly.
So that's one of the things, one of the goals this year, the president and I, good friends, were trying to give more back to schools. And
Okay.
that's one of the accomplishments.
Didn't mean to
We're
get
kind
off track. I'm sorry.
of
Jeff.
Proud of that.
Oh, no, good. All right, we will move on to a policy committee update. I know you guys just met about an hour and a half ago.
Just a lot of, nothing really besides word changing, protecting the school more, protecting the school board on a few things. There was one,
Laws, getting some of the laws that have been recently
Yeah.
passed into policy.
state laws. Some of them were state laws that we had to abide by. Just really, the one big one was on, audit, or no,
Oh, for
doing the
the
school-
student
the-
organizations,
Yeah.
student support organizations.
to see if the school should audit them, just let it go. If they got their own accounts, let it fly.
Okay.
We do have the policy where we can request if we have a concern.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other one was administration evaluation. And, we don't do it now. or we
I
do
kind of
it
like the
once
way
a
we're
year.
doing it now.
We're gonna continue to do it like we do now.
Okay.
I was curious with the social media stuff. Is that stuff that will be put into a policy, or will that be stuff that's on? I mean, is that in both places?
The stuff we were talking about? That's
Well,
in the
like
policy?
social media, how you act on social media, that and that kind of thing. Is that
It's, the behavior piece is in one of the policies. that
it's
we
in the
have.
policy? Okay, that's kind of why I wanted to come to see if it was in there. is there changes made to it, or,
For the students or for the staff?
well, kind of both, I mean,
Student, there's,
It would
the
just be in the
student
code
would
book.
be in our handbook.
Okay.
And then our athletic code, our athletic book. But this was primarily focused on staff.
okay, all right, okay, I didn't know if that was a double, okay.
Nope, nope.
All right.
And then, one thing that you and me had talked about was, open enrollment, trying to get some more stuff on,
Yeah, on social media, that's something we can talk about later too.
Okay.
Yeah.
But-
I've seen a couple of districts in the last few days that have some really cool stuff, social media wise, that they're doing about open enrollment and really kind of, you know, being strategic.
promoting.
So one of the things that Greg and I were talking about is, you know, because he has all this free time and just loves to take my projects under his wing and and help me out. But yeah, one of the things we were looking at is putting together, I don't know if you call it a reel, where you interview some students about why Fall River, interview some of the staff, why Fall River, and then you have pictures and videos of classrooms, and it's short. I think it's called a reel, right? Am I saying the right thing? Creating a reel that you put on social media then to be able to help advertise.
Yeah, you're not a social media person.
I'm not.
No.
But try to get ahead
But
of the
let me
program.
tell you what, everybody knows I'm not, so whenever something exciting happens, don't you worry, I get screenshotted text messages.
Yeah, it was just something Guy and I were talking about, social media wise, things that I had seen
Yep.
that were actually pretty darn clever. Some of it kind of real related.
Yep.
Just, you know, strategically, the schools that are doing it strategically, where districts are at, and what they're hitting on is certainly, again, somebody's thinking certainly down the road.
Yep.
And grabbing, you know, views.
Get ahead of the program instead of falling behind it.
Agreed.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
If you wanna send me any of those things that you find, please do.
Okay, all right, I will, yeah.
All right, well, thank you for the policy committee update. We'll move on to a referendum report.
I wanted to let you have each a copy of this. If you're interested in what stuff will be done from Findorf, when it might be done, it would hurt for you to have a copy of this. It's awful small writing, but just for your interest's sake, to keep you informed as much as we can about when things are gonna happen. I won't go through the detail of it, but there's different sections, and you can read into this, the different parts that they're gonna do and when they plan on doing them. So, just to, you can kind of see their plan is. Jennifer and I met with, is Marie, you guys there too?
No, it was
Okay.
just you and I.
We met with the two gentlemen who are most influential in getting our project done today, and went through all the details of where we stand with all the finances, and the contract was signed at the number we'll go through, and I'll kind of show you some of that stuff in the other documents I held today. But the more we work with these guys, the more comfortable we are with them. I think we're getting we've got a good company, we're feeling more, I think, more and more confident the longer we work with them. Matt Primo, we've worked with a bunch already. Scott Coyne is kind of the superintendent of what the project, and then the day-to-day person, Andrew, we've met him now too, he'll actually the one who gets it built. I think those guys would be really good people, and I'm impressed by the people that we're now working with. The other sheets you have on here, the one that looks like this, is our soft costs. Just gonna keep you updated on where that stands. We had 1.75 million in soft costs to go for those things, what the budget was. The finishing room, I put a question next to that, because that's not, we thought, well, originally we talked about, that might be what's cost, that's not even close probably. We're still waiting on some numbers, and Findorf's gonna kind of let us know when we have to decide if we want to do that, but we want to get further into the project. We do not want to have project creep, and we're not adding something to the project before we've actually started the project. So we're gonna kind of hang on to that one a little bit. Miscellaneous surplus is because there's some things that were just much cheaper than expected, so we moved that money to there, plus the contingency. So we've got close to $400,000 actually out of the 1.75 million that is not spoken for. But something else we've been doing now is we're putting together a kind of a wish list. If there's $100,000 left from this or the operating referendum, what would we do with it? If there's $300,000, what would we do with it? So we're putting together a list of what could be happening, because I say, this is my gift to Jennifer, because this will be September and October when you actually might want to look at this list And so we kind of give her and the rest of the leadership team a roadmap for, well, if there's something to be done, this is the most important in our mind. So we're putting that together right now. And before I leave, I think we'll have that pretty complete. And, you know, 4 of us, and Brian Anderson, and Jake Hartman, and Abby Schultz, and Colleen and Andrea are all part of that discussion. So there's a wide variety of things that they represent. To try to keep care of as many needs that the district has now with this referendum money. So should you need to go back for another operating referendum, we don't have this long laundry list of stuff we need to do yet. We can take care of as much as possible, which then could reduce the possibility of how much you might need to ask. Because for this referendum, it was to keep us not a negative fund balance, but it was also to create a whole bunch of projects done so we can limit what that project list looks like. That could reduce the amount that have to be asked next time, hopefully. I will tell you on here, as we're ready to sign the contract, it was like for the next page, it's numbered on the next page. Your bid, down near the bottom, where it says Findorf portion, about the middle column bid, $7,037,541. When I did the fine tuning of the contracts and talking to all the vendors, that number actually decreased by $21,727. So our soft cost actually from this sheet, but the next time you get this next month, is gonna go up. We're gonna have an extra $21,727 because this came in cheaper than we expected. And on this sheet, I highlighted in gold kind of what has happened since the last time you had this sheet. One is the stage is now done, $111,897 got spent on that, so less than what we expected, and a little bit less than what the bid was too. So we got a little bit of a good deal on that. The same thing with the network switching tech upgrades. Those Jake's had that accomplished. And I'm going to circle stage curtain because tonight on our agenda is one thing is to approve a bid for stage curtain. And when you get that bid, you'll see it's a few $1,000s less than what we have on here. This is 20, it's 17 something. You've got the thing in your packet that you'll be able to look at later on also. Then I want to show you this, which is, when we met with the Findorf gentleman today, this is a breakdown of what their costs are and where they're going to be spent. This is how we're going to be tracking to make sure we're getting what we want and spending what we want. So this is just the original bid. You guys, did they use them? So this is all the different topics, and this is how much is being designed for those. And now the construction total at the bottom, see that's smaller than it was on the first page. It's $7,015,814. So that's lower than we had on the other page because that's now been decreased by $21,000. We brought Colleen in this discussion. That's the other person was there. We brought Colleen on this because this is how the building's going to come to us now. They will have this document, and they'll have how much was spent this period, how much to be reimbursed, how much is left to spend. And that's pretty much going to be the document we'll give you now monthly to show you all these categories, how much has been spent, how much is left. We spend a lot of time talking about the contractor's contingency. There's $321,000 there. We think that's going to go up a little bit with a couple of alternate bids on electrical and I think front entrance glass, that we may actually have more in the contingency than this, because we think those bids that on those two items will probably come in, an alternate method of doing things may come in cheaper. So this number may be higher next month or the month after also. But we spent a lot of time talking about the contingency, trying to point out that we want as much of that at the end saying you didn't need it, and how are you gonna verify to us that you really do need that for something.
And why?
Why, yeah. And we're asking for just lots of communication if some of that's gonna be used. This isn't change orders. This is just money that we needed a little bit of extra overtime because of this happened, or we have a little bit more for this. Why is it more? We want to be very clear that they continue showing all the way to the end of the project to us now and her later, why you're using some of that. And they say, yep, our goal is to give you back as much of that as possible. That's the goal. And our job is to try to hold them to that, to try to get as much of that back. We'd like to not think they're going to use all that, but that does happen from time to time. So That's part of our trying to hold their feet to a fire, that you've got to really communicate well to us why that could happen. So this gives you an idea of the breakdown, but also the conversations we've been having, and then how you might see something similar to this to their first. They haven't done the draw yet on their stuff. The architects have. We've paid some stuff to the architects. But Findorf itself hasn't had any money yet for all the stuff, the work they've been doing, and they've done a lot of work. You've sat in on meetings and listened to stuff, time and effort that these people put in, so we're gonna start getting some of that. And we brought Colleen because she's the one who's gonna have to pay this. So we're gonna get that with how much has been spent, and then she's gonna work this like we normally do with things that Brian Anderson's in charge of. Brian, did they look to you, they did these things. He's gonna be the one checking to verify, yep, they did that, they did this makes sense. To verify with the Findorf people, this are reasonable bills. Findorf itself will go through that with the subcontractors to make sure that they aren't bidding, they aren't trying to submit for stuff that's like in phase 3 of the project and not phase 1. But also, we will double check that with Brian. When Brian's satisfied, they'll put it into the PO, and then she has 30 days to pay it. And we're gonna set up an ACH right to them, so we don't have to mail the check and send it early, which allows us to collect more interest on our investments while we're waiting. We don't have to pull out, let's say, $250,000 until it's time to spend that money. So, we have an idea how we're gonna track this and how we're gonna keep track of it, okay?
Do they have a special billing software that they use for the project?
I'm wondering if that's, I don't know the answer to that. I know that they had the standardized form that they had shown us today, just he had a copy of it, but he didn't share it with us, just a paper copy of it, where it had the column was what it was for, and then what our projection is, what their billing, for that one is, how much is left, and then also keeping the 5% or whatever until the actual end of the project.
Contingency.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but he said it basically is a standard form.
What we saw is probably off that software, but I don't know what the software.
Because a lot of times the software program will dissect it so that you can only bill for the things that are in that group. So a lot of the things that, they're gonna hit a button that says approve.
Yep.
Actually, AI is gonna sort it, and then the project manager will hit a button that says approve, that it's done. A lot of times, so like, if there's something that I'm gonna do in phase 6, but I'm trying to bill in phase 3, it'll get.
And he did say something that would not be able to go through.
It'll just get rejected.
So we feel fair, the more we talk, the more comfortable they are, they're gonna look out to make sure that it's billed at appropriate time. And if they're taking that much detail on that, I think the construction part, Brian will be with them to make sure that he feels comfortable with all that. It's all gonna start here pretty soon, but putting up fence, I think, next week.
Yeah, we can't park over there
Yeah,
after
where the
starting
teacher
Monday.
lot is, now that basketball season's over, that lot is gonna disappear. People will be either parking in the church, which we have agreement to be part of, or they'll be parking out in front probably. So that will start next week, and I'll talk to you about the groundbreaking more during my report later on. But that'll be next week, but I'll go through more details about that during my report. So that's where we stand on the referendum. So that's, trying to keep you guys.
So on the soft costs, the A and E, is that the engineering and architect?
Yep, that's it. There's a lot of acronyms, things like that we have to ask about too. What does that stand for?
What's FFE?
Fixtures, something in equipment.
Yeah.
Yes.
FFE.
Yeah.
And we have, makes me sweat, I'm sorry. We haven't figured out a parking situation for the people that park on the side of the building. They're gonna park in the front parking lot?
We also offer the church.
Okay.
And there's a handful of spots up in this other parking lot. There might be like 4 in the rec parking lot that we can have people use instead, so that we aren't filling up our main parking lot, because when we have parents come for field trips or, grandparent day for something, we don't wanna take all those spots.
When I sent the email, I said, if you're parking that lot, park in the church. Walk just a little farther.
Well, and we
That's
were
what
talking
asked them
to
They have park where they want to park.
a
That's what we
possible
asked.
solution for elementary is like before a field trip, instead of having them get on the bus out here in the front, if they're parking down there, they're gonna walk in with their kids from recess anyway, come in, and then the bus can pick them up on that side of the building instead of on this side of the building. So we could try to encourage more people on those heavy traffic days to park at the park, because it's right across the street from the playground where they're gonna be walking their kids in anyway.
We've probably got about 7 weeks of school from the time we lose that lot. Maybe 8.
I know Brian didn't think so, but I could still ask the Methodist Church if we can park in there.
I see
too.
people parking there tonight for,
I can certainly ask them.
someone's son I saw his truck sit out there.
But, I mean, I'll certainly ask them too.
Yeah.
They're not gonna say no, I'm sure they will.
They'd be good partners. So,
All right.
thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we will now, I guess, hear an update on the senior trip in new business.
Yes, so the seniors have decided that this year they would like to go to the Kalahari instead of going to Devil's Lake. One, it's not weather dependent because we all know that in May, the weather is not always super friendly for outside activities. And then the other one is there's a little bit of variety for kids who want maybe some of that, like they have the inside amusement stuff, they have the movie theater, they have the indoor water park, so a little bit more variety of activity for the kids. This is just a day trip, and so they're going to leave at 8:15 in the morning, and they should be back here by 7 o'clock that evening. Mr. Book does a really nice job of organizing this and communicating with all of the students, and we usually have a really good attendance rate. Almost all of the seniors choose to go every year, so that's exciting that they have that one last opportunity to spend some time together.
Awesome. And I assume because it's not an overnight, you actually don't need it.
Yep, not
Correct.
overnight, not out of state. So when they were going to Six Flags, it was out of state, so we would need it, and then overnight ones.
Okay. I guess I'll just say it, let's just make sure that cost is not a reason anyone wouldn't go, so if anyone
Absolutely.
can't afford it, let's figure that out.
Yeah, we can double check, but I feel pretty confident Mr. Book has probably let them know, but as always, we can give a nice reminder.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions on the senior trip? What the floor? All right, we will move on to Start College Now.
Perfect. So you have several applications for students to take Start College Now classes down in Madison. All of them that are taking the English 1 classes are current juniors who are already in our college reading and writing course. So they've worked through our system that we're at and they need an extra challenge. So we are recommending that they be allowed to take the college reading and writing. There was one course for the second to last student in your packet that was an offering that we currently have in-house, and that was criminology, so you can cross that one off. I do not approve of that one. So that one will not be going through, but the rest of them are all courses that are electives that students can take beyond what we offer. The last student that's in your packet who is asking to take the Math of Personal Finance, Intro to Business and Marketing has already utilized and taken several of our DCA online classes that we offer, like accounting and Intro to Business. So he is looking to start taking and just exploring what part of business does he want to go into. So he's taking these classes to get some extra credits for those.
I'm not going to, I just, maybe just hindsight is, I just kind of know, like, they're 100 courses versus the 200 courses and the rest of these. So something for him to look out because those aren't transferable.
Well, and a lot of times what they'll do is they'll transfer in as like an elective, but they
Even the
won't
200
transfer
courses,
in.
yeah,
Yep,
But,
right.
so they're aware of that.
Okay, thank you.
So they can look into that.
Yeah, I
Maybe they
didn't
have
even
to
look at
change
the course
numbers.
number on it. Mhm.
We can approve this as a lump, correct?
Yes.
All right, unless somebody wants to do anything individualized, I will take a motion to approve the 4 Start College Now applications as presented in our packet.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
All right, we have a motion by
Brent.
Brent. And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Nate. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. All right, we will move on to a summer tech worker.
Summer, Jake Hartman requests to have a student helper who can clean up Chromebooks and try to get everything all set for the next year. He's asking the same as he did last year for one worker for 100 hours.
All right, any questions on that one? And I will take a motion to approve the summer tech worker.
I'll make a motion to approve the summer tech worker.
I'll second it.
By Nate, seconded by Brent. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. HOSA?
All right, so HOSA
HOSA is going on an overnight trip, or would like to if you approve it, to the state conference, and it will be in the Dells this year. And they are going to leave Wednesday, April 8th, right after the musical dress rehearsal. And then they would be back here at school by the end of the day, Friday, April 10th. During the trip, students choose new state officers. They take written tests about health sciences. They act as patients for some of the contests, and they take part in various ceremonies. There's also a health science expo that they can talk to employers from the health industry, as well as educational representatives. So universities, colleges that have different programs that they may be interested in. Unfortunately, Kaylee Shroud and Elizabeth Brozek, they qualified for state competitions. However, they are not able to go due to a scheduling conflict, but I do want to acknowledge that they did qualify. If they had been able to attend, they'd be able to be there. We do have 7 students who are able to go and compete, and they would be Cece Taves, Kaylee Shroud, Lindsay Walsh, Ashley Fajardo, Kaylin Spindler, Marilyn Soriano, and Liam Juronic. So they've put a lot of work and effort into that, so it's exciting to see that they could compete in something that they find a really big interest in.
Then transportation and cost.
Transportation is provided by the district, and you know what? I don't have cost on my sheet. Do you know?
They did a huge fundraiser. I think they did the bunt cakes, the mini bunt cakes, and so they used that money to help finance their program.
Okay. And then supervision?
Nurse Jessica will be with them, and so 7 students with 1 supervisor would be what we would have.
Okay. Any additional questions? All right, I will take a motion to approve the HOSA overnight trip.
I'll make a motion to approve the OSHA State Conference overnight trip.
All right, we have a motion by Guy. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Nate. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. All right, curtains.
As mentioned earlier, you have the best bid in your packet from Main Stage for a new stage curtain for $17,119 installed.
Approved.
Done. Any questions on curtains? I know we've talked about it in the past. All right, I will take a motion to approve the under budget state curtain bid.
I will make the motion to approve the new stage curtain bid for $17,119.
I have a motion by Nate. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Jeff.
Seconded by Ken. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All right, all those opposed. All right, we'll move on to the nutrition purchasing co-op.
I think CISA contract.
CISA, yeah, CISA contract first.
Oh, my bad, CISA contract.
Trying to get out quick, aren't you? So there's a 2-page CISA contract. I'm going to go through a little bit of it so you can kind of see what kind of service we get from CISA. And we're going to make one amendment to this. We're going to delete one of these lines. So when we ask for the approval, it'll be minus this one that I'll show you. So on page 1, they start with CISA 5 district membership fee of $236, and then there's the school improvement services. A lot of that is the CISA Sarah and CISA Kelly that are coming helping with curriculum and instruction. Part of that in the coaching and these things we see in the next couple lines is because we don't have a full-time curriculum director, so we can buy a little bit of that service from CISA and not have to have a full-time person doing that. You have the Career and Tech Ed Council, which helps us with all the Carl Perkins monies. The one I want to scratch is librarian services. When we had our part-time, we had a 1-day-a-week librarian that we shared with Randolph, and she left for like the Randolph Library itself. And our cheapest option at the time, replacing her for 20% of something, was to go to CISA and get these 15 days a year for $15,900 is what the bid was for this next year. We've since come up with let's say a cheaper idea. We think we can get the same kind of service from a couple different options, which we talked about today. We haven't settled on one, but it's a more retired person, hopefully, that would do this for 10 days at $500 a day or $5,000. So we can save possibly $11,000 by scratching that. And I let CISA know today that you were voting on it tonight minus this. So we'll get that to them soon, should this be approved. So we're scratching almost $16,000 from their bid. Down further on is the IS classroom that we host here most of the kids are from here, but there's some from Rio and
It's a mix, yeah.
some other districts nearby, where they send their students here, so you can see how much it is for 5 kids. That's the estimation of how many kids we're gonna have there. That's the cost of that program. Since it's hosted here, we do collect some money back from CISA for room rent, for our use of staff, anything that we do. Probably this year, I think Colleen and Andrea and I are going through it the other day, it's probably gonna be about $15,000 we'll get back from CISA for our people helping with that classroom or teaching those students when they're in their classrooms, plus the room rent. So that defrays that a little bit. On the second page, the first part that it costs money is occupational therapy and physical therapy. Again, we don't have those people on our own staff, so they can come and serve the needs of students that are around and helping them with us. Then you've got special ed physical management. They help a lot with high-cost special ed reimbursement, which they catch stuff that they're experts in this that we wouldn't understand, and I think we probably got about $17,000 back in high cost last year. We're expecting somewhere in that neighborhood.
They essentially typically find more than what they're charging,
Yeah.
is what they would.
Their goal is to find us more money than they're paying them. And there's one other, they'll help us with maintenance of effort to make sure that we are spending the appropriate money on special ed and that we're not short.
And making sure, when we go through it, that we're finding all the different pieces that need to be in place
Right.
for that.
So you see the total projected cost, $289,000 minus $15,900 is what our suggestion is. And then we'll probably come back to you at the next meeting or two with a proposal of how to handle those librarian services. So.
Any questions on CISA 5? All right, well then I will take a motion to approve the CISA 5 as presented with the subtraction of librarian services, which brings the new total to $273,435.76. Do I have a motion?
I'll put a motion forward, Jeff, to accept the CISA 5 contract.
We have a motion by Ken. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Guy. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Now the nutrition co-op.
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of pages here for this co-op. What it is about halfway through, there's a list of 65 schools that are involved in this co-op, where you buy in bulk for all these districts together, we get a better deal. So it gives us a little bit cheaper for purchasing the food for the food service, and also at the end of the year, we all get some sort of rebate for this, and it's a few $1,000s that we get as a rebate for this also. So it saves money in the purchasing of the food, and we get a little rebate at the end too. So it's a pretty good deal that Holly has us in here.
All right, I will take a motion to approve the school nutrition co-op.
I'll make the motion to approve the Wisconsin School Nutrition Purchasing Co-op.
I'll second it, Jeff.
Seconded by Guy. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. All right, moving on to staffing recommendations.
All right, I do have one retirement this month. Susie Doolittle is retiring. She has put in over 30 years in the Fall River School District. The Doolittle family, Jim and Susie, as you know, are both retiring. Have put in many years here, will both be missed. Have been great colleagues to me. They're one of the first staff members outside of the interview team that greeted me to Fall River. So I had a special bond with them, I feel, through the years, and she will certainly be missed as a teacher here, but she is, I also want to congratulate her on the retirement, because that's a big deal, big accomplishment. But yes, she will be missed, and we're working towards, I have a good crop right now of candidates that I'm working through right now, so for our position, so I'm excited for that. But yes, she is retiring and will be missed, but excited for her and Jim.
Congrats to both the duos. 34 years that's a lot.
I think her first year, she had me in 6th grade.
She taught 6th grade?
Yeah.
Really?
I know I had her in sixth grade. I don't know if that was her first year or not. It must've been pretty close.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, she's been a staple here for a long time.
Wow.
And hiring.
Right, so we would like to recommend Hannah Summercorn to fill our social studies position that is open. So Hannah is a recent grad from UW Oshkosh, and she has a Broadfield Social Studies license. And she is also a member of the Wisconsin Air National Guard, so she has some experience with them. We are excited to have her join us. She did her student teaching last fall at Kimberly, so she has a little experience with middle school and high school students from her student teaching. We are really excited to have her come, and only good things to say about Hannah. Yeah, do you want to add anything?
No, I'm excited to have her. She knocked her interview out. It's gonna be a nice, fresh perspective, I think, to that department, so we're excited.
Awesome. All right, we'll do these in two different motions, so I'll take a motion to approve, or to accept the retirement of Susie Doolittle.
I'll make a motion to accept the retirement of Susie Doolittle.
I'll second it.
That's seconded. Motion by Brent, motion by Guy, seconded by Brent. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. And we'll take a motion to to approve the hiring of Hannah Summercorn.
I'll make a motion to approve the hiring of Hannah Summercorn as a social studies teacher.
We have a motion by Guy,
I'll second it.
seconded by Nate. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. All right, on to the principals' reports.
I'll go first. So, as you know, or some of you may know, as you walked in tonight, we had our second annual family math night. Some folks I'd like to thank for helping putting that on is Mrs. Robbins, Mr. Wenzel, Mrs. Lither, and Mrs. Beaver, Mrs. Ikeda, and Mrs. Mickelson. I also just want to thank staff who made donations. Some of the pie filling and things like that were donated, and everybody got pie, and I had 2 slices myself, so.
Where's the leftovers?
I had a
didn't bring
little
some.
dinner. Well, the kids ate a lot of pie, Mr. Burr.
You did it.
Well, shh, quiet. And we agreed as a team that we felt like we counted heads and we had more there tonight than we did last year, so we think we're growing it. We added a raffle at the end, so everybody walked home with something, and we had some bigger prizes that I also picked up earlier this morning. So it went well. I think it was a good event, and we're going to continue having that. So, right, as you know from last month, we are in the process of getting summer school planned and getting all that organized. We're working on sessions 1 and 2 and have teachers who want to teach summer school, but I just want to take a moment to thank Mrs. Liebenthal. She's kind of my right-hand person. She's been doing a really nice job helping to make sure that everything is kind of organized and ready to go. Everything will be online this year when parents get their kids signed up. And so there's a lot of intricacies to that she knows within Infinite Campus. So she's been a big help and is doing a really good job. Sign up should be sometime after spring break. And then lastly, I spent some time with the special ed team tonight, Dr. Treptow and myself. Talked about some different things, but 3 of the members are going through some training that you had approved purchase of called Wilson Training System. And Jenny and I met with them tonight. I just want to thank specifically Mrs. Steers, Mrs. Trotter, and Mrs. Howland for their work in going through the training that this entails. It's a pretty intense course. They have to put in a lot of hours. And we're trying to make that as easy for them as we can, but it is, it's quite rigorous. But they're putting in a lot of time, both at school and outside of school. And I just want to notice them and appreciate them for their hard work, because it's really going to make a difference in their reading instruction and interventions that they're providing to the kids. And I'm very excited to see the gains some of our neediest readers will have as they go through this training and after they start implementing it more.
Can I jump on really
Absolutely.
quick? Mrs. Trotter said something at the meeting tonight that those kinds of things really resonate with me, because when we talk about that we're doing these things, it doesn't mean that what we're doing is bad or isn't right. It just means there's additional things out there and things that we could do differently. And she said at the meeting, that there was a lot within the video learning that they were doing that was reaffirming the things that we are already doing. Like the data dives that we do with the kids to look at, where are they at with multiple data sets and points, pulling them to do the individual interventions. But yet there are refined things that they could be doing differently to help boost their instruction with our students who struggle with reading. So I just think that's super important to note that we are investing in them and they're recognizing that it's reaffirming, yes, we are doing really good things, but it's also we always have things to learn.
You get that sense of what, this is a lot of work, but we know it's good work.
Mhm.
It's the right work, but it's a lot of work. And they recognize the financial piece
It's an
behind this,
investment.
and we're
Mhm.
investing in them and the kids, and they appreciate that, I think, and recognize that. Yeah, so, any questions for me?
I think 4 retirements, resignations. Are they all posted, and have you had a crop of candidates?
Yeah.
Have there been a lot of activity?
The pieces that I have right now, yes, they've all been posted. I went through all of the candidates last night that I had. I had 2 more come in today that I got to review tomorrow. But all in all, I am getting candidates with both coming out of college, but then also some with experience. So I am getting a blend of candidates, that's kind of what I wanted.
And I think for every position, we've had at least one applicant for every position.
Yep.
Start interviewing.
I am planned to do some interviewing next Tuesday.
Okay, good.
With Mrs. Robbins in the kindergarten piece. And then after that, my plan would be sometime shortly after spring break for the elementary positions, just to give some more time for that candidate pool to grow. Because obviously your experienced teachers right now are coming up on spring break. And if they want to look, the time for them to apply is when they have time during spring break, not while they're teaching. So give that a little time so that will grow, and I'm confident it will.
And once all of this is done, that hiring that you guys just did in this, that'll inform our budget also.
Yep.
So we get some more new numbers of staffing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, I'm next. Well, testing season is upon us. Not the students' favorites and maybe not the staff's favorites, but it's here. So middle schoolers started their forward testing today. They kind of have 2 big days. It's going to be this week Wednesday and next week Wednesday. And then the 8th graders have a couple additional sessions. I haven't heard of any horror stories from today, so crossing our
I was
fingers.
asking them after lunch, I said, how'd it go? And they all were very positive.
Good.
So, I mean, it was after lunch at that point, so they had eaten and had some free time again, but they were giving me some good feedback.
Good,
I don't
that's
know.
good to hear.
Yeah, I also talked to a kid, I said, how'd it go? He's like, actually, it wasn't too bad.
That's what I was
Nice
getting,
to hear.
almost every kid I asked. It
So
was
it's nice
pretty
to
much
hear.
like
I
that.
hope next Wednesday feels the same as this Wednesday. And then with the dicey weather that we experienced over this past weekend, we postponed our ACT and pre-ACT for our 9th through 11th graders until tomorrow, just because we were really unsure of what Tuesday would look like. And, hindsight 2020, we had a lot of students that were late coming in on buses and everything, and that would have been a mad scramble. Even though we started on time to get that ACT in. So I think best case scenario is we're gonna do it tomorrow instead. Middle schoolers will be out of the building. They're going on a field trip. They're gonna do a movie in the morning, and then the afternoon they get to pick between skating, whether you like roller skating or roller blading, or bowling. So it's kind of a nice time for all of them to, build their community a little bit with each other, and it creates a quieter environment here in the school for the high school students. And then seniors get the day off. So a little bit of good stuff for a lot of people. I don't know if the juniors will agree with us on that, but they'll have a nice quiet day. And then the last one I have for you is just announcing that we have a new head football coach who has accepted the position, and he is really excited to get started. His name is Brian Prevey. And he has 16 years of experience coaching football in area schools. I think almost all of them are in our conference too, if I remember correctly. He spent the last 3 seasons as the head coach for Princeton Green Lake. And he built up a program from pretty much nothing to having a fairly successful season last year. So kudos to him on that. And he's excited to start looking for some assistant coaches. We have that posted, so people have started applying for the assistant coaching positions. Whether they have coached before or they're new, we're asking them to apply, and then Coach Prevey can have a say in who he would like to join his team. And a little bit about him. He works for the state of Wisconsin as a special detective. Am I saying that right? And what's that? There you go, DCI. And he has, I think, about a year left, and he said he's going to be retiring. So I'm hoping out of all of it, we pick up another substitute teacher. But he's really excited to join our team, excited to get kids in the weight room, a program going for all students too, not necessarily just our football kids. And then working with Rio as well to get their weight room. They've been doing a nice job, so just some consistency between the schools with that. So we're excited to have Brian join us.
One note is Princeton Union Lake was 8-man football.
Do you want me to tell?
He wants to get back to 11-man football.
And then one last update on our hiring for our math position. We are going to be interviewing 3 candidates next Tuesday after school. Happy to say that they are all licensed and they all have teaching experience, and they would like to come and join us here in Fall River. So we are pretty excited to see what they have to offer.
And they're relatively local too, so it's not like someone coming from was it Ghana?
It was
or-
Ghana.
Was it Ghana? We
First
had
5
several
applicants were all
applicants
from
from
Africa.
Ghana.
And a couple of us.
So I would say they all live within a 35-minute drive of Fall River, so all reasonable drives that somebody would make on a daily basis.
Awesome. So I know Maria mentioned that we kicked off testing today. I always like to start with a thank you, and my thank you is to our teachers and our staff and our students, because between the blizzard and the state games and the virtual days here, it's just been kind of a whirlwind to get everybody focused and motivated and ready to go, and they have done a phenomenal job with just being flexible and going with the flow this week. So huge kudos to them. And then also a thank you to Amy Liebenthal, who works as our district assessment coordinator. She is the master planner behind all of the testing that we do. So the scheduling to make sure that we have everything set up correctly and sending all of the requests and setting it up with DPI. It is hours and hours and hours of work and coordination, and she does a fabulous job. So I want to make sure to thank her as we embark on this fun part of our year. We kind of made a joke today. We wished the state would let us test in May and just kind of end the year that way, so we didn't have to worry about spring breaks and, basketball tournaments and all of these things. But alas, they don't want us to.
Here we are in
so
March.
Here we are in March. The last time we talked, we had parent-teacher conferences the following day after that board meeting. They went really well. Our spring conferences generally are not well attended, 6-12. So we tried to do a student showcase. I think the student showcase went well. We got a lot of positive feedback. However, I don't know that it necessarily recruited that many more parents into the building. So we're going to keep trying to come up with creative ideas. Maybe we'll give it another try again next year and see if the word can get out. But our teachers did a really nice job of getting projects hung out in the halls, out on tables, and just up. I know Greg had the kids practicing their solo ensemble, doing little mini concerts. So we'll try it again, I think, next year and see how it goes. And always looking for ideas on how to increase our parent attendance for our spring conferences. I went to the WASBO Federal Funding Conference with Andrea. It was in the Dells. It was a 2-day conference that talked a lot about the federal grants that we can apply for, how the funding is going to work federally coming in, and what the different changes are going to be. I learned a great deal about our title funding and how that all works. We split up the conferences, so or the different sessions, so we each went to different ones, and then we drove up there and back together both days, and so just had a lot of really good conversations about, how are we doing, again, the great things that we're doing, and then also, could we make a tweak here, could we make a tweak there, and what does that look like? we did, all of us, our whole entire admin team did a pre-demolition site walk for final discussions and things. You're not covering that, are you? Okay. Just walked through the building and went through, okay, we want to keep this, we don't want this, we'll take this down. It was a pretty extensive process, but it was, I learned a lot walking through that and going through with them, just to finalize plans, because it's happening, it's coming quick. And then I've also been meeting weekly with Andrea just to prepare for next year's transitions, just to help her and I get on the same page with how do you want to do things? How do I want to do things? How are we divvying up the job duties? One of the things that we've landed on is she is going to take over as the transportation oversight or manager. I don't know what you call it, oversee the transportation director side. And then I'm going to primarily keep the buildings and grounds, but we're going to be working in conjunction, like together for buildings and grounds, because it's going to end up being a team effort for that one. So that is one thing that we were able to kind of iron out so far. Dennis already talked about the budget dives, and I think he's going to talk. We did meet with the insurance people. He's going to talk more about that, so I won't add to that. And then I also took a day with Whitney Wagner in Portage, where together we completed and submitted our peer review mentoring grant. It's a $25,000 a year grant that we apply for, and we have historically been awarded it. And that helps to fund our mentoring for our new teachers. The training for our mentors, the mentoring that our new teachers get, to get them away together to learn the systems. It helps to fund subs for that, so it's a nice chunk of money that we do in cooperation with Poinet. And then the last most exciting thing that we did was Friday at the state tournament. It's always fun. Like I don't know, it's those things that make the really hard days always worth it, because it's just seeing our families in the stands, our kids all together, the girls on the court, like not a lot really beats that kind of thing. So it was phenomenal, and I'm excited to be a part of this whole Fall River team. Now I'm getting sappy.
It was fun. It was fun, and some of the girls mentioned how they were little girls in the stands when they watched some of the other teams that went to state. And even sophomore through seniors all were there at one or two state tournaments. And I think the girls were talking about little girls behind you now are watching you too. So they learned a lot about being role models, because there were little girls in the stands who will probably be going to a state tournament someday, and they watch these girls just like these girls watch the girls ahead of them. So that's really cool. For the rest of my report, as Jennifer talked about, that she and Andrea and I met with our insurance brokers for dental and health insurance. Dental insurance, there'll be no increase. We're doing just what we hope to do. The district comes out about $10,000 ahead of what we put into our self-funded dental compared to what gets paid out. I think our fund balance is close to $20,000 right now. At some point, we won't have to keep building that up anymore. We can actually reduce what we put in each year to save some money for the district. So that's been a great thing. The health insurance, it's another story. They told us 19.9% increase, and we go, no. So the gentlemen from USI that are helping us are preparing bids from a number of companies to see if we can get a better bid than that. We are going to do a survey of all our staff, find out where do you go to see your doctors. So when we pick a new plan, it actually covers where people want to go to their doctors. So we're looking at possibly get a new company. And we're also going to look at some plan design changes. Right now we have an HSA, and we're looking at a combination, maybe HRA also, and raise the deductible. Again, we're trying to do this without making a major financial impact on staff, where they got to pay a whole lot extra. Otherwise, whatever raise we give them disappears, and that's counterproductive. So there's likely going to be a new company or a plan design change with the current company, because we can't take a 20% increase. I think we calculated, and Colleen and I think calculated today, that's like $160,000 increase in health insurance premiums that the district would have, but also what employees are contributing would be 20% higher than what they're paying now too, and I don't think they want to do that either. So we're hoping it may not be till the May board meeting that we have a recommendation for you, but we have to find something better than that. So, my next thing is that we have a tornado drill next week. We always do ours in March because lately tornadoes are coming earlier and earlier in the spring, and we don't wait till the end of April when the state has their statewide tornado drill, because there's usually been a couple tornadoes in Wisconsin already by the time they do that drill. So we're trying to be proactive and be ahead on that. And the last thing I want to talk about is the groundbreaking that I mentioned earlier, next Thursday at 3:45 in that north end of the building. You're all welcome to come, and we've already sent invitations to a lot of the companies in town, some state representatives that might be there. It's been on our Facebook, I think, and our website to invite whoever wants to come. It's 3:45 Thursday afternoon. We're gonna have a small program. I'll do a welcome and some thank yous. If a state representative is there, we'll let them speak because they enjoy speaking. Then some students, the CTE teacher, and I think Findorf people and the PRA would like to talk. And we would like to have a school board member who would like to do a little thank you or a little talk. We're talking about a minute or two to thank the community or thank whoever you want to thank. We're looking for volunteers or nominations.
I am.
Is it
gone?
We would like someone to do it. If you all are going, heck no. But if someone would like to, we'd like to give you that opportunity because it's a big deal for our community what we're doing here.
Nate will take it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Nate?
I'll do it.
Excellent.
Yep.
Thank you.
If you want to give me something to speak on, or is it something that you want me to come from the heart with, or?
I would say, if you
We
would.
can talk about it later,
Yeah,
but.
yeah, you and I'll
maybe just
talk.
A little bit of direction, I know it's only just a minute, but
It's a,
if there's,
think about who you might want to thank.
yeah, absolutely.
And then we'll talk.
Yep, awesome.
Because I'm gonna do something similar between you and me. We want to thank two different groups of people.
Yep, 100%.
So, okay, so thank you. That's it.
Is there big scissors?
Shovel.
Shovels.
Yeah.
Red and black bows.
They got 12 shovels they'll have. And if it's raining, bad weather, we're gonna do it in the multi-purpose room. No dirt.
I was gonna say.
But shovels. And we're gonna have a lot of photo ops after too. There'll be pictures.
And
So even if
themed
you're not
treats.
speaking, if you wanna come, we're gonna have pictures like, it could be like this group here, all standing with a shovel. We're gonna have the kids standing by shovels, the CED teachers, some community members who are influential in this. Pretty much, if you want your picture taken, we're gonna let you stand there with a shovel and get your picture taken.
Right.
But we want one kind of with the group of people that's sitting here if you're interested.
So make a motion to adjourn.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn by Brent. Do I
I'll
have a
second.
And seconded by Nate. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. 7:32.